Hello everyone and welcome back to the Forge. Now today we're going to be starting another Bowie knife project, and I want to give a special thanks to Brent Boots. He works with my sister here at Soldotna. He's also a subscriber of the channel, and he sent over this huge stack of leaf springs off of a truck. And so that's what we're going to be using for this Bowie knife build. I've already used the angle grinder to cut a piece off, so let's get the forge lit up, let's get it up to temperature, get it tossed in, and let's get to work. Alright, while our steel's getting back up to forging temperature, I'm going to go ahead and discuss our design here. I'm just going for a pretty straightforward Bowie design. I've got a nice moose antler crown that I'm going to be using for the handle. I'm going to go with just a regular spacer here, file or cut a notch into it all the way around, and just a simple little guard. It's kind of rough and ready kind of Bowie knife. So the steel's almost up to temperature, so let's get ready to start moving some metal. Alright, now that our knife here has cooled down, I'm going to go ahead and take it into the grinder, and I'm going to grind the flats on both sides. That'll give us a good, nice flat area to use to scribe our reference lines with. I will also, after doing that, cover the whole thing with masking tape and kind of draw out the profile that I want. We got it pretty close to the finished profile, but there'll be a little bit of tweaking I do with that. So let's go ahead and get to the grinder and get to work. Alright, I'm using a worn out 36 grit belt to grind the flats of this with, and the reason behind that is forged scale is extremely tough, and this ought to enable me to get through that with no problem and not ruin a brand new belt. So let's go ahead and get to work. Alright, at this point I've already laid the masking tape out on here and traced out the profile of what I wanted. I've grounded the shape, cleaned the shoulder areas up here, cleaned the tang up. I have used my granite block here and my height gauge to scribe some reference lines to make sure everything's in line and good and straight. And so now I'm going to go ahead in. I'm going to grind along the edges here. I did forge the bevels in somewhat, but I'm just going to go give myself a little bit of a grind in preparation of heat treat. Do a little bit of grinding here on what would be the clip point. I'm going to grind the clip point first. That way I have a nice clean transition up here as I work. But then we'll be ready to heat treat it. So let's go ahead and get the grinder, and I'll take care of this, and I'll catch you in a minute. Well, the steel's getting up to temperature again for the last run of thermal cycling on it. I was going to go ahead and talk about this. For those of you just getting into knife making and bladesmithing, run by a thrift store, junk store, whatever you want to call it, snag you one of these. I got this one, I think my sister got this one for, my sister bought this one here for around $15 here in town. It's a 22 quart. But what I like about it is you can put your oil in there and you can adjust the temperature to wherever you want it and let it warm up. And that keeps you from having to dunk hot steel in your oil to warm it up or to set a torch beside it. This is about the best way to do it. I know Jay Nielsen uses one of these for his big Bowie knives and such. That's where I saw it was on his, I believe it was his Basic Hunter DVD. So this is what we'll be using to quench our knife in. Alright, we got a nice hard blade. Everything went well in the quench. The only thing that warped or bent was the tang just a hair down here on this end, but I'm going to anneal all this with a torch anyway all the way up to the shoulders here, so I'm not too worried about that. We'll straighten it out then. But time to get this in the temper. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and anneal the tang with this torch, and we'll get it straightened out, and should be good to go on that. Alright, that worked out great. I got the tang good and straight. This is where we're going to stop at for this video. We should be set up for part 2 to go in and do the finish grinding, clean everything up, hand sand, work on the handle, forge the guard, and then be wrapped up with this project. I appreciate you watching as always. If you would, hit that subscribe button down below, ring the notification bell if you would, and we'll catch you on part 2. You have a good one, and bye-bye.